You don't live your life, you perform it. Most of your daily decisions, the things you say, the clothes you choose, aren't actually yours. They are reactions. They are calculated moves designed to manage what the people around you might think. You care too much about judgment, and that care has become a silent director, controlling every scene of your existence. We carry this habit because, for most of human history, social conditioning was a survival tactic. Our ancestors lived in tight-knit tribes where being liked wasn't about ego, it was about safety. In that world, exile meant death. Your brain evolved to equate social approval with the very air you breathe, hardwiring a deep, physical fear of being the one left standing outside the circle. But in the modern world, that survival software is misfiring. You aren't on the savannah anymore, yet your nervous system treats a critical comment or a lukewarm reaction to your ideas as a predator. This evolutionary drive for safety has morphed into a confining trap, turning low-stakes social interactions into high-stress survival scenarios. By identifying the friction points of this psychological performance, you can see how these layers of behavior were constructed. Mapping these habits provides the clarity required to step back from the reflex. It allows you to see the script you've been following, which is the first step toward deciding how you actually want to respond to the world around you. Anxiety about other people's opinions is not a character flaw. It is a hijacked biological reflex. It forces you to spend your energy playing a role that fits in, rather than being the person who actually lives. The first layer is the fear of judgment. It's visible in the micro-decisions you make every single hour. It's why you hesitate before posting a thought online, or why you change your shoes 3 times before a dinner party because of a passing glance you imagine someone might give you. You are constantly editing yourself to avoid friction. This fear leads directly to a constant need for validation. You've become a collector of evidence, proof that your performance is working. You check your phone for likes, you scan faces for a smile after you speak, and you rely on the verbal confirmation of others to tell you you're doing okay. Our biology interprets social standing as a survival rank. The brain constantly scans for proof that your status exceeds those in your immediate circle, demanding a higher relative position to trigger a sense of security. If the people around you seem more successful or more liked, your internal alarm goes off, telling you that you are falling behind and losing your safety. You can see the difference in how people handle criticism. An approval seeker is like a mirror. If the feedback is negative, they immediately shatter and reorganize their entire personality to fix the image. An authentic person is more like a stone. They hear the feedback, they process the information, but their internal structure remains stable regardless of the reaction. This feels safe, but it's controlling you. When you live for external validation, you are playing a metrics game you can never win. You outsource your self-worth to people who are just as confused and self-conscious as you are. You're building your house on the shifting moods of strangers. As we go deeper, we find people-pleasing. We like to call this being nice, but it's often a subtle, subconscious strategy to manage how people perceive us. It's an attempt to control the room by becoming whatever the room wants you to be, ensuring no one has a reason to reject you. A people pleaser will reflexively abandon their own boundaries to keep the peace. They say yes when they mean no and apologize for things they didn't do. An authentic person understands that conflict is the price of integrity. They guard their internal rules because they know that losing a boundary is the same as losing a piece of themselves. When you suppress those boundaries, your brain enters an overthinking loop. It starts trying to calculate infinite social outcomes, projecting every possible reaction someone might have to your choices. It's a massive computational effort to ensure you never make a mistake that could lead to judgment. This is the source of that mental exhaustion you feel at the end of the day. It's the result of analyzing past conversations for hours, dissecting what you said, and projecting negative assumptions onto friends and coworkers based on a look or a short text. And this is where you lose yourself. Chronic people-pleasing and overthinking act as defense mechanisms. They protect the character you've created to navigate the world, but they do it by slowly suffocating the person you actually are. Eventually, you hit the root of the problem, a lack of self-identity. If you spend decades curating your personality to fit the expectations of others, you eventually look inside and find a void. You've spent so much time being who they need that you no longer know who you are when the room is empty. The anxiety that follows you through the day isn't actually about being judged by your peers. The real cost is the sheer volume of energy required to maintain an inauthentic performance every hour of every day. You are tired because you are constantly working to keep the mask from slipping, and this is why you're not being yourself. Real exhaustion doesn't come from your workload or your schedule. It comes from the labor of pretending to be someone you aren't, just to satisfy a world that isn't even paying that much attention. The shift begins when you stop viewing authenticity as a destination you have to reach. Authenticity is the baseline reality that remains when you simply stop performing. It's not something you find, it's what's left when you stop hiding. You have the right to drop the act. The weight of the performer is a heavy burden, one of constant adjustment and fear. But there is a quiet clarity in an authentic mind that no longer carries the weight of a secret. When you stop managing your image, your energy finally returns to you. Start prioritizing your own internal identity over the comfort of the crowd. People will judge you, and they will misunderstand you, but their opinions cannot change your reality unless you let them. You were not born to be a background character in someone else's story. Like, subscribe, and comment if you're ready to stop caring and start living. The moment you stop waiting for the audience to applaud is the moment you step off the stage and finally become the author of your own life.